Welcome, everybody. It's good to be here. The Empire State Building is 1,250 feet high. Now, there's a reason I tell you that. Number one, you didn't know. Number two, I thought you should know. And number three, Spanky took you all the way back to the Civil War, and the least I could do is take you to the Empire State Building. Now, I'm going to have some fun here tonight introducing a young man that has been an incredible inspiration to all of us. Like many auctioneers, he got in the auction business before he got out of high school, because his family was in it as well. So if you're in an auction family, you don't get much of a choice. You get to carry the boxes. You been there? Done that? All right, me too. I know how it works. You know, as a teenager and in high school, he really thought, well, maybe this auction business isn't for me. Got into band, played band instruments, was a tremendous athlete. He did everything. Played football, running track, run cross country, played basketball. All-around guy, just an all-around guy. A real determined individual. And then his family said, you know, son, maybe you ought to go to auction school. That's what you need to do. So, sure enough, he packed up, and away he went. Came back home after auction school, went off to college, came home one day, one Saturday, and he had some additional hair that he didn't have when he left home. His dad took one look at him and said, son, there ain't no hippies going to work here. Cut her off. And he did. And then he went back to college, and he met this young lady. Kind of fond of her, in fact. So he asked his dad, he said, Dad, he said, I got to know something. He said, I know you met Mom, and y'all have had a great marriage, and I'd just like to know, said, tell me how you determine who actually wears the pants in the family. And his dad said, well, I'll tell you what we're going to do, son. Saturday morning, we're going to hitch these two horses to a buggy. This is a gray horse and a black horse. And we're going to send you down the road. Now, I got the back end of this thing full of chickens. And I want you to go up to the door. And when the guy comes to the door, said, I want you to ask him, are you the boss in the family, or is your wife the boss in the family? Now, if he says he's the boss in the family, if she says he's the boss of the family, give him a chicken. Well, this goes on all afternoon. And all he's got rid of is chickens. He's still got the horse. Because his dad had told him, look, if the guy is actually the boss in the family, said, give him a horse. If he's not, just give him that chicken. So he gets to the last house. He ain't got far to go. Knocks on the door. He's got rid of all his chickens. Knocks on the door. He asked the old boy to come to the door. He said, let me ask you something. Are you the boss in the family, or is your wife the boss in the family? He said, well, I'm the boss in the family. He said, all right, you get the gray horse. About that time, his wife poked her head out the door, and she says, I want the black horse. He said, you get a chicken, buddy. That's it, all it is. So he's a decision maker. He has been everything imaginable in the auction industry. He got excited about going to auction in the various associations. Past president of his state association. He was a charter member in the CAI, along with me as well. He left his family business after a while, thinking maybe he should just go into manufacturing or some other big company. And he did. Was very successful at that. But all the time, he was going back home and dealing with the auction business. Very involved in his community. Minister of youth. Still does it. Still teaches Sunday school to this day. Got very involved in state government. Turned out he's a representative. Spent a lot of time in his state as a representative. And he said, well, that wasn't quite strong enough. So he ran for Senate. And he won. And today, he's still serving as a senator in his state. He just celebrated 44 years of marriage to his college sweetheart. He has 4 sons. And he has more distinguished accolades than anybody I ever seen. Now, the reason I told you about the Empire State Building, if I was to write all the accolades and all the accomplishments that this guy's done on 2x4s and stood them on end to end, they'd go over the entire state building and halfway down the other side. And that's the reason you had to hear about that. But he's an incredible, incredible inspiration. He's past president of this national association. He, again, serves as state senator in this great state of Indiana. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you your next nominee, Mr. Dennis Kruse. Woo! While Kay is pinning his Hall of Fame pin on, by the way, these Hall of Fame pins were made large enough that you can see them. Let me read his plaque. Dennis K. Kruse, Auburn, Indiana, in recognition and appreciation of his outstanding contribution to the profession of auctioneering and the National Auctioneers Association at the 2013 Hall of Fame Award, a 2000 Hall of Fame Award recipient. Dennis?
Thank you. Thank you, Michael. Thank you. We need to get a picture of it. Okay. You stand with me. Well, I did not anticipate this would ever happen in my life. And I first of all want to thank God and allowing Him to bless me in many ways in my life. And one of the finest ways is to have my wife of 44 years, Kay, with me. She's been an outstanding wife and has stood by me through thick and thin. When I've done things that aren't the best and when I've done things that are good, she's stayed with me. And God blessed us with 4 sons, and all 4 sons are here tonight, which I did not know. So it's a surprise that they're all here. And they're each married now. 2 of them got married last year, and I've told several of you this week I have 3 sons who don't have any children at this point in time. And we have been blessed now that we have 3 grandchildren on the way that will be born before the end of the year. So I have my oldest son, Matthew. All 4 of my sons are auctioneers and real estate brokers and appraisers and in business. And Matthew has his wife, Michelle, here, and my 3 grandsons. We have Caleb, Michael, and Jackson, my 3 grandsons that I have now, and we're going to add 3 more here. So next we have John, my second son, and his wife, Abby, and she's pregnant. They've been married 10 years and having their first child now, which is very nice, so we appreciate that. And then I have my 3rd son, Tim, and his wife, Mary Beth, and they got married in December 22nd, and they're expecting, I think, December the 19th, I believe, is about the expectation date for them, for their first child. And then my youngest son, Daniel, and his wife, Beth, and she is expecting October the 15th, and Abby, I think, is expecting about October the 29th. So we'll have 3 more grandkids. We appreciate that. One of the, I guess, sorrows I have is my dad couldn't be here. He was a great teacher and an inspiration to me as his son and my brothers who are auctioneers as well. And if it wasn't for him, we would not have ever been able to accomplish things that we did in the auction business over the years, because he was always pushing us, and he was never satisfied, and you always could do better. You always could push on. You can be the leader. You do this and you do that. And he was a great encouragement and a great teacher with details and making sure you did everything. And it's like Marty was saying, I did everything there was when I was a little boy, helping my dad and carrying furniture out, lining things up, and carrying clerk tickets and doing all those things that a lot of you have done over the years. And I just experienced, a wonderful life. And I appreciate this honor very much here tonight. And it means a lot to me. And I thank you for being a part of my family, too. I appreciate serving you over the years. And just thank you very much for this honor tonight.